Whiplash, the story of an obsessed musician, is filled to the brim with a remarkably surfeit amount of storytelling through lighting. However, I'm going to be specifically focusing on the ending scene. Throughout the entire movie, color is manipulated to produce certain feelings for the audience and present Andrew's, the main character, inner perceptions. After inviting Andrew to come play in his traveling band, Fletcher leads Andrew into a trap of failure. By telling everyone except Andrew the correct lineup, he's left out in the open, playing the wrong music, thus humiliating himself. Nonetheless, Andrew bounces back, giving both him and Fletcher their modern-day Charlie Parker. The uses of color temperatures, low-key lighting, and other elements in the scene provoke an awareness the film wouldn't otherwise be able to achieve without them. The scene begins with the tracking shot of Andrew as he makes his way from the waiting area to the stage. In just this one scene, there are some incredibly notable pieces of information here. Up until the point Andrew reaches the stage, his surroundings are filled with mostly blue and green light. This is important because throughout the entire movie, when there are uses of the two colors, it's showing the security blanket or safety Andrew feels. Because the movie is so strewn with anxiety and high stakes, shown through warm color temperatures, the rare absence of it is shown through the blue hues. However, almost always, the blue, or lack of stress, is an illusion. For example, the blue light leads right into the trap Fletcher set up for Andrew. Other examples of the use of blue include the date Andrew went on, which ended badly, the family dinner, which also ended badly, and most importantly, the bar scene. This is where Fletcher asks Andrew to come join his band, and we know how that goes over. Uses of color or lack thereof is an essential tool in storytelling. When done right, it forces the audience to feel the way the creators want them to, without them realizing it. Another important element to this opening shot is the moment Andrew walks by Fletcher, who is cleverly standing under a spot. This use of light is specifically used for foreshadowing. Fletcher looks menacingly at Andrew as he walks by, all while Andrew remains in his bubble. It's not until Andrew is on stage does the mood and surroundings switch to the unease orange hues carry in this film.
You think I'm fucking stupid?
What?
I know it was you.
When Fletcher approaches Andrew at his drum kit, his face is hit with a strong light, which only highlights the side of his face. This seems like a very specific choice in lighting for storytelling. While the audience, along with everyone else, can see the bright light, only Andrew can see the shadows and darkness. Proving this point further, Fletcher walks over to Andrew numerous other times in the scene, but those are all high-key lighting as opposed to this one specific choice of low-key lighting. Low-key lighting is typically used to create mystery or nervousness, which this specific shot succeeds in doing. Once again, the lighting changes back to a blue hue, except this time with a high-value chroma. On top of this, there are lights flashing on him like a siren light would. I perceive this as his security blanket crashing down on him, forcing him to face his fears and finally jump out of his comfort zone. In essence, the thing which was keeping him from his dream. The blue, which was once subdued in the rest of the film, is now blaring down on him full speed ahead, forcing him to face the facts of his failure. Once he finishes, however, we never see the color blue again. The lights come on, and we see the audience in that same orange hue, and Andrew exits the stage. When he exits the stage, the backstage is not the blue it was before. His father reaches him for a brief second, embracing him, but not for long. There's a small spot shining down on Andrew with an orange hue, foreshadowing his return to the stage. While the presence of orange can be seen as the anxiety Andrew feels, it's also directly related to Fletcher. When Andrew and Fletcher first meet, Andrew remains in his comfort zone with the blue hues. It's not until Andrew fully meets Fletcher's actual persona does the orange come out, and it intensifies as the movie progresses. The color choice is important because typically, CTO has the power to create a homey feel, but when placed on top of a vexing scenario, it creates a whole different effect. Going back to the beginning of when they started playing Upswingin', there's a master shot used. However, during the shot, there's a spot which falls onto Fletcher while Andrew is left in the dark. When Andrew re-enters the stage, no one is left in the dark in the master shot. Visually, this is telling the audience the two are on equal ground. Fletcher is still mad at Andrew, or is begging him on to keep him going, and Andrew is still playing. Towards the end of Andrew's performance, however, the spotlight's coming down onto him. Here, the use of the hieratic scale can be seen in action. Using this effect is extremely useful for the storytelling because this is perceivably Andrew's whole dream in one shot. The hierarchy of what's in the shot changes along with what's going on mentally with characters. Then finally, the ending happens. The back and forth extreme close-ups of Fletcher and Andrew lets the audience know that they both achieved their dreams in that moment. This movie ties together quite beautifully. Every moment, every shot, and every color choice was thought out with such detail, allowing for a cinematic triumph. The final scene of the movie captures the struggles both Fletcher and Andrew had to go through in order to reach the ultimate goal of perfection. Uses of low-key lighting versus high-key lighting, specific hierarchies in frames, along with exceptional uses of color, make Whiplash an extraordinary example of storytelling through lighting.